Hey folks, welcome to another Retro Rise video. Today I'm going to talk about some extreme cars. We should have some pictures up on the left here as and when they become relevant. So yeah, let's go. I just wanted to talk about how the internet's kind of changed things with how extreme people go with their cars, or want to go, or judge people that don't go with their cars. People have always kind of judged each other. Not judged is necessarily the right word, but looked at each other's cars in relative terms, like, oh, this is what's going on at the time, how does your car kind of fit in, not fit in, move it forward, completely break the mould, whatever it is. And having extreme cars isn't a new thing. If you look back at kind of the monster truck wars, is probably a good way of looking at it. Like, if you look at the very first iteration of something like Bigfoot, and then somebody else came out and they had bigger wheels and it was a bit more jacked, and then Bigfoot went bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually I think it ended up on aircraft wheels or wheels of some insane construction vehicle, and it was ludicrous, properly ludicrous, like needed ladders to get in and all that stuff. So it's not a new thing for people to push the stuff like that. Drag cars have done it before. Oh, you've got a big engine, right? I've got 2 big engines, or now I've got 4 big engines, and half the time it wasn't necessarily anything to do with making it go faster. It was just to be the guy that had 4 engines in their drag car. You know, sometimes there may have been an argument for it being there, but I don't always buy it. So it's not a new thing, but the internet has made it more. There's definitely more kind of extreme cars out there, like on an everyday basis, or it appears to be on an everyday basis. And I think this is what's changed. So now you can have your own car show in your living room, or on your phone on a train journey, or in the toilet, whatever it is you use your phone. Like right now, like you can just look through loads of photos of cool cars, and it's not like being there, but it's kind of visually it's the same thing, and it gives you this impression that there's loads of these cars out there, and like everyone's doing this or everyone's doing that, and that's not necessarily true. And it kind of the current sort of thing with like the extremely modified cars, and obviously you're seeing pictures, but I mean the really outrageous stuff. To me, it kind of stemmed a lot of the modern stuff from the kind of Japanese car scene. Obviously I love the Japanese car scene, but there was a world in which, when the internet became aware of Shakotan and Bosozoku cars, it really pushed people to go, oh wow, I've got to be up there, I've got to like do this insane thing to be able to get the attention that these cars got, because people want the attention. People don't always build cars to modify their cars for attention per se, although there always have been people that will, but it's one of the side things of having a modified car, is you get a bit of attention. And people that like that, people that wanted more of that, and no judgment, it's a perfectly good thing to want in your life if that's what you want, they saw these cars and decided to step up a bit more and do a bit more. And that kind of bled in a little bit to also the stance scene that kind of was evolving at the same time, which kind of came out of the Euro type stuff in America, and like air ride becoming a bit more ubiquitous, so cars got lower and then wheels got bigger to fill the arches of the lower cars and the modern cars, and then because the wheels got bigger and the arches got lower, and everyone had to start running stretched tyres to fit their wheels in, then camber became such a thing, and then actually now I've got this camber going on in this car. And then these Japanese cars over here, they got demon camber, they got that Oni camber, probably over here, and so you get the situation of like, oh, I can go that a little bit further, I can go that a little bit further, and then one day you see the Toyota Celica that popped up a few years ago driving into a show, and it's ludicrous. It's just ridiculous. It's just ludicrous. And then some of the VIP cars started to go that way, and a lot of the time, to us, we were looking at these cars thinking these are sort of their show cars, but they're not. They're their ridiculous cars. They're as ridiculous out there as they are over here. And a lot of them are made up of their old beaters, really, like stuff that they didn't really care about. So we might not see that many Y31s or Seamers or whatever, but to them they're just a car they can pull out of a junkyard and just slam completely on the floor, cut out the inner wheel arches in order to have ridiculous camber, drive it to a show, have fun with it at that show, drive it home and trash it, or keep it for another couple of shows and move it around. And I think that got lost a little bit in translation on the internet. I think that there was definitely a world in which people saw some of these ridiculous cars that were built for one-off shows, or for a series of shows, or for a season or whatever, and they thought, oh, that's their cars, and that's not really how it is. And then, but in seeing that, you then people judge other cars based on having seen that. It's like, well, your camber's not that much because I saw this car over here that was running basically on its inside walls. Like, well, yeah, but that's not that guy's car. Like, he runs that for a few shows and then he trashes it. And again, that's perfectly fine. And people have done that in the UK. Like, people have done that in Europe. Like, you build a car for a show and then at the end of the day you bin it off. Like Scraping Scraps on our forum is legendary for having built some fairly ludicrous cars that none of which exist anymore because the parts got moved onto something else, or they were a little bit too rusty by the time we'd finished with them, or whatever. It was just that kind of scene exists. It's a bit more difficult nowadays, but it does exist. But what happened? People started to want their Instagram moment, their ability to get, you know, thousands of likes on Instagram or Facebook, and get the haters, to get the people talking about their cars, to get the attention around their cars. And again, not a bad thing. If that's what you want, if that's your thing, then go for it. So you ended up with more cars that were just built to shock. But my worry, and the point of this video, is that that's become the standard by which people judge cars. It's like, oh, it's not that extreme, or it's fairly bog standard, it's only got this, it's only got that. And modification has become about pushing those limits. And it's not about moving things forward, it's about pushing the limits. And they're two different things to me. So, I don't always think pushing limit moves things forward, it just pushes limits. I think that we should, as an internet community, both here on the YouTubes and Retro Rise community itself, and all you people that are on Facebook and on Instagram doing all your things, keep in mind that we are building cars to have fun, and getting really aggro about a car is a bit silly. And at the same time, building a car for the express intention of annoying people is also a little bit silly. But it's kind of fine, but people shouldn't get annoyed about it. And there are a few cars still floating around the UK scene that are built like that. What's interesting now is that there are cars being built that I know are going to annoy people, but they're being built from a place of having fun with cars, or being the first person to build a thing. So there's another thing that's going on that I quite like, which is bragging rights. It's the first person to have built a thing. And it does annoy people sometimes because you're the first and it's not an accepted thing. And sometimes it's kind of built with the knowledge that you're going to annoy people. So our good friend Pipey, with his upcoming E-Type Jaguar with rotary engine, it's an E-Type body shell over a chassis. It was like not a car. When Pipey bought it, he didn't buy a complete E-Type and take it apart and build a thing. There's the E-Type drift car that's floating around. That was a really rotten shell that got turned into a drift car. And then we have things like the Ferrari 348, some numbers, in Japan, that is slammed, and people go a bit nuts over because they don't like performance cars being slammed. But the guy wanted to build it, and he's the first to build it. There's a Ferrari 308 being built in Belgium, Netherlands, Belgium, and that's going to be super low, and that's going to annoy some people. And there are more of those cars out there. They're all floating around out there. The first person to modify this supercar, and that seems to be the new thing, like people trying to find cheap supercars and modifying them. And that is what it is, you know. Like, they're going to annoy people, but it's their car, they can do it. Like, none of these cars are particularly rare. It's not like you can't go to a car show and see 101 E-Types, particularly not the 2+2, which no one really likes in enthusiast terms. And the same with the two Ferraris. I mean, There are loads of them. So like, don't be sad. Somebody drag raced a Hebmuller, a VW Hebmuller in the 70s because it was just the body shell he had floating around his scrapyard, and he wanted to stick it a drag car. That is a rare car that got drag raced. He didn't do it to shock anyone, he did it because that's what he had and it wasn't worth anything at the time. And similar to this, like one day I'm sure Pipey's Jaguar 2+2 shell will be worth a fortune, but that's 20, 30, 40 years in the future. Worse things have happened to those cars. So I don't think there's a problem with bragging rights, I don't think there's a problem with building extreme cars, and I don't think there's a problem with building cars to have a reaction. I think people need to stop judging everybody else's car or measuring everybody else's cars against those extremes, because we're not all going to build those extreme cars. We're all going to build cars that we like, and there's mileage in that. There are so many really nicely turned out cars, and it's very easy to go to car shows now and just kind of browse around, not really taking much in, not really paying any attention to anything, because you've seen it all on the internet, and then none of them are particularly extreme, and then the one photo you do take is of the ridiculous thing, whatever that may be, and that's the photo you share, and that's the photo everyone comments on. And I think we need to kind of avoid that a little bit. I'm guilty of it. Like, the reason I'm making this video is because I do it, and I do it at the gathering when I'm judging cars, and I've been looking through the exit videos, and there are so many cars in those exit videos that I missed just because there were things like catching my eye. And I think we do a pretty good job of judging at the gathering, but I know I missed stuff that I think I would have liked to have given some recognition to at some point. There's a really nice Triumph Dolomite there that I have no idea who owns it. It's orange and black, and it's really nice. And I have no idea where it's from, no idea who owns it, no idea what club it was with, but my eyes drifted over that a couple of times without really taking any notice of it, and it wasn't until I saw the photos afterwards, and then I saw a shot of it leaving, that I realised that that was a great little car. And there were more than that, but that one really stuck out in my head. It was like, I missed that car completely, and I really would like to have had a good look at it. So, just to say, don't hate on the internet, because meh. And remember, we're making cool cars, and remember they're all pretty cool, so take some time and effort to look at them and appreciate them, and tell people that what they're doing is good stuff, even if it doesn't blow your mind every single time you see it. Thank you for your time. See you soon.